Hi, my name's Troy Jacobson. Welcome to version 2 of On the Road with Coach Troy. Here we are in beautiful Lake Placid, New York, site of the 1932 and 1980 Winter Olympic Games, and also home to the Iron Distance Triathlon. Today we're going to ride the 56-mile loop of the Iron Distance Triathlon, and it's going to be a hard ride because it's very hilly up here in the Adirondack region. So get ready to work hard, make sure you have plenty of fluid, plenty of calories with you. Stay on my wheel, listen to my coaching, and let's have a great workout. All right, here we go. We're going to warm up a little bit before we get into the hard part of the workout. Watch out for that 18-wheeler that just went by. So right now I want you in your small chain running 15 on the back and your stationary bike tension on about a 2 or a 3 on that scale from 1, which is very easy, to 5, which is very difficult. Your intensity right now should be around 70% as we warm up at the beginning of this ride. And again, we're doing about 56 miles. We're doing one loop of the Iron Distance course. Here we go over the bridge. And if you were to make a left on this road coming up through here, make a left here, that's where the run turnaround is for the Iron Distance race held in July. So here we go, we're still going downhill, small chain ring 15, and your cadence should be up around 90 RPMs right now as you start warming up on for this very challenging ride. 56 miles today. Beautiful scenery here, great riding up here in the Adirondack region, fantastic training venue for any multi-sport athlete or for anyone who enjoys being outdoors. Today's a slightly overcast day, but the sun is shining right now. Slight breeze is blowing and temperature is very comfortable in the 60s and probably will get up in the 70s a little bit later on. Okay, so you're on my wheel right now. We're riding along, just warming up. Cadence up around 90 RPMs or so, still small chain ring 15. Coach Troy Cam, you can see the road from my perspective. All right, you're on my wheel. Stay up on my wheel, that's it. Just getting warmed up. First part of the course here. We're heading down to the small town of Keene. Nice wide shoulder on this part of the course. Roads here are decent. There's some areas that are chewed up, and today there's a lot of construction out there on the road, but we'll get around that. Hopefully your tires are up to good pressure, around 120 psi, depending on the kind of tires you're riding, so you won't get any pinch flats. Riding along nice and steady. Now we're actually heading up a slight grade here, so I want you to shift to your big chain ring on the front, big chain ring on the front, 15 on the back, a little bit more tension on the pedals. If you're on a stationary bike, bring that tension up to about a 3 to a 4. And of course your intensity goes up just a little bit too, so now you're up around 75 to 80%. Cadence drops a little bit as well, so your cadence is around 80 to 85 RPMs right now. Nice and steady as you climb this little grade. Now this is a little bit deceptive because if you're doing the Iron Distance course, you have to be careful you don't overexert yourself on this part of the course. I see it a lot. A lot of athletes get really excited about being out of the water and onto the course, and they tend to push it a little bit too hard within the first 10 miles. And that's always a mistake. So you need to pace yourself. You have to be disciplined not to push yourself too hard on this section. Nice and steady rhythm here, nice and steady rhythm. Big chain ring 15, tension on about a 3, cadence around 80 to 85 RPMs. Nice and steady, using good climbing form. Upper body nice and relaxed, nice and still. Knees into your top tube. See how my upper body's nice and still? Maximizing energy output. Coach Troy Cam, watch out for that car. Coach Troy Cam is in sync. So you're seeing exactly what I'm seeing at that time. All right, stay on my wheel. Looks like we're going to crest this little hill soon. Still big chain ring 15. See the clouds up ahead. Hopefully there's no rain in those clouds. Coach Troy cam again. Nice and steady rhythm. Okay, we're coming up here, a little flattens out a little bit. So let's take it back down to your small chain ring on the front, 15 on the back. Small chain ring, 15. Cadence comes up a little bit, bring that cadence up, let's say around 90 to 100 RPMs. If you're on a stationary bike, that tension comes back down to about 2. On that scale from 1 to 5, cadence comes up again. Nice steady effort here, nice steady effort. Still warming up, intensity is around 70% at this point. Stay on my wheel, just stay on my wheel, and we'll have a great ride today. Hopefully you brought plenty of fluids and you have some calories with you, because we're going to be out on the road for a while today, probably for about 3 hours, or around 3 hours. Every 15 minutes or so, you have to make sure you drink, make sure that you eat something. Nutrition is an important part of success at the iron distance, or any distance for that matter, but especially the long course or ultra distance triathlon. Or even if you're out on a century ride, or you're just doing a 56-mile training ride, you've got to make sure that you nail your nutrition if you want to have a high quality training session. Nice and steady here, in a rhythm. This is the Coach Troy cam. Still in your small chain ring, 15. Steady effort, cadence up around 90 RPMs. Just cruising along, stay on my wheel. Always thinking about that good form. Somewhat of a flat section right here. Keep your upper body nice and relaxed, and your knees into your top tube. Your intensity is still around 70 to 75%. Okay, now it looks like right about here we're going to be heading downhill a little bit, so let's bring your cadence up. Small chain ring, 15. Let's bring your cadence up around 100 RPMs. Start bringing it up as we head down this hill. Bring that cadence up. Come on, bring it up around 100 RPMs. Let's go. Bring it up, bring it up, bring it up. Nice steady effort, intensities between 70 and 75%. Keep that cadence nice and steady. You're in a good rhythm here. Still small chain ring, 15. Stationary bike tension on around a 2. Going past this local restaurant and motel. Still small chain ring 15, bring that cadence up. Watch out for that rough road. Coach Troy Cam. Punch buggy. Nice and steady. It's a great day out for riding. Okay, just to remind you, remember to drink a little bit. Been on the road for a little bit now. Take a few sips of fluid. Ideally a sports drink, diluted sports drink. You don't want anything of a high sugar concentration in your gut, whether it's training or racing, because it's harder for you to digest. Make sure whatever you take, whatever kind of fluid, is diluted. Taste diluted. Very important. So you can slow down the stomach emptying process and you can get bloated. You want to make sure that you absorb all your fluids and all your calories out on the course. All right, we're heading downhill. So we're still working a higher cadence because we've been primarily heading downhill now for a while. So let's keep your cadence up around 100 RPMs. Still in a small 15. Still kind of getting warmed up here. Word of advice, if you're doing this race, even though this is a fairly fast section here at the beginning of the event, make sure you don't overcook it. Because you have to do this whole thing twice. Get the cadence up. Come on. Heading downhill here. Look at that. Sweeping downhill. Get that cadence up. 100 RPMs to 110. Still small chain ring 15. Stay on my wheel. Get that cadence up. Cadence up. Good job. Good form, knees in your top tube. You're using a tri-bike, get down the aero bars as you head down this hill. But as you can see, we're coming up to a little upward grade here. So go to your big chain ring on the front, 15 on the back. Let's use our momentum to get over this little grade. That's it. Come on, big chain ring 15. Cadence drops, rate maybe around 90 RPMs. A little bit of a climb here. As you can see, I'm shifting gears. Intensity goes up ever so slightly. You're up around 75 to 80%. 75 to 80%. Your stationary bike tension is around 3 or 4 as you climb this very slight grade. Big chain ring 15. We're going east on Route 73. Nice steady effort. Upper body nice and relaxed, nice and still. Knees in your top tube. Looking strong. Still in the big chain ring 15. Coach Troy Cam right there. Seeing the road from my eyes. Stay on my wheel. Stay on my wheel. Okay, now we're starting to head downhill. Let's go to the small chain ring on the front. Small ring on the front, 15 on the back. Bring that stationary bike tension to about a 2. And the cadence comes back up between 90 and 100 RPMs as we go down this little hill. Come on, get that cadence up. Get that cadence up for me. Car back, car back. I'll try not to power snot on you. If I do, I apologize in advance. All right, we're still heading downhill. Small chain ring 15. Looking back, check out, see where you are. Come on, bring it back up to my wheel. Here we go downhill. Let's bring that cadence up. Small ring 15. Bring that cadence up over 100 RPMs. Look at this hill we're descending. Come on, bring it up, bring it up, bring it up. of course, if you're out here on the road, you're going to your big chain ring and down to your 13 or 12 on the back to really get some speed going. But you're at home on your trainer, so I want just the opposite gearing, but the same effect. I want to see that cadence come up. Get that cadence up. Come on now. Going down this hill fast. Going about 25, 30 miles per hour. Spin your legs out. Get it up around 100 RPMs. Come on now. Get it up, get it up, get it up, get it up. Good. Stay on my wheel. Stay on my wheel. Good stuff. Keep that cadence up. Okay, now we're starting to hit the uphill grade a little bit. Let's go to your big chain ring on the front. Big chain ring 15. Big chain ring 15. Tension on about a 3 to 4 on that stationary bike. Intensity goes up a little bit, maybe around 75 to 80%. And we're starting to level it out here coming up. Level it out here coming up. So let's take it back down to your small chain ring 15. Small chain ring 15 as we level it out a little bit and bring that cadence back up around 90 to 100 RPMs. Good. We're looking forward to that nice downhill coming up soon. Fast descent coming up soon. Nice and steady. Looking back to see where you are. Come on now, stay on my wheel. Come on back up on my wheel. Beautiful day for a ride. And we're heading back downhill again. So let's stay in that small ring 15. Tension on about a 2. And let's bring that cadence back up over 100 RPMs as we head downhill here. Come on. Bring it up, bring it up, bring it up, bring it up, bring it up. High cadence, high cadence. Come on back up to my wheel. Bring it back up to me. Bridge back up to me. Don't let that gap get too wide. Try to bridge back up to me. Come on, high cadence. Bring it up, bring it up, bring it up. Intensity should be about 75 to 80%. That's it. Good job. Good job. Bring it up to me. Bring it up to me. Come on. Let's go, let's go, let's go. High cadence, high cadence. Always working on good form. Knees into your top tube. Upper body's nice and relaxed. Right now, if you have a tri bike, you might be down on your aero bars. Wheeled bobsled rides today. We'll do that maybe after our ride. Good. Right on my wheel. Good job. Good work. Good form. Good form. Cadence between 90 and 100 RPMs. Intensity is around 75% as you're starting to get warmed up. Heart rate's starting to drift up a little bit, which is good. Your legs hopefully are feeling strong. You still have a ways to go in this ride. Remember, don't neglect your nutrition. Make sure you're taking sips of fluid periodically. We're still going east on 73. Good stuff here. Love riding up here in Lake Placid. Right now we're heading down to the small town of Keene, and then we're going to make a left turn and head towards the small town of Jay. Lots of small towns up here. Very nice small towns. Keep that cadence up. Small chain ring 15, tension on about a 2 or 3. Stay on my wheel. Bring it back up to me. Some rough road right here. I'm riding a titanium frame today, but I also have a carbon fiber frame. I think I might have selected the wrong bike material for this particular ride, as the roads tend to be a little bit rough, and carbon For rough roads, at least, it's usually a better selection. But you can't beat titanium. Still a nice riding material, that's for sure. Alright, keep that cadence up. Small chain ring 15. Tension on still around 2 or 3 on that stationary bike. And let's keep that cadence up around 90 to 100 RPMs. So if you're doing the iron distance race, this is an area where you'll see a lot of the athletes just hammering in that first loop. Head down, just hammering. 28 miles per hour. It's almost like a suicide mission when you really think about it, because they have 112 miles to go, and at this point they're not even 10 miles into the course. So wise athletes back it off, stay within themselves, and avoid that temptation to hit it really hard in the first segment of the bike. Because believe me, if you hit it too hard in this first loop, you will suffer and pay the consequences in the second loop, not to mention the run. Okay, nice and steady. Okay, we're going to the big chain ring 15 now. As we go up a slight grade, big chain ring 15, your cadence drops probably to 80 to 90 RPMs. Try to fall within that range if you can. And your intensity level should be around 75 to 80% as we climb this little grade. We're still heading towards the big descent into Keene. So stay with me. Big chain ring 15 still. Looks like we're cresting. So let's go back down to the small chain ring 15 and bring the cadence back up. 90 to 100 RPMs. Bring it back up. Always working on good form. Good, good. Going downhill around 25 miles per hour. Looking back, see where you are. Stay up on my wheel. Try to stay up on my wheel as best you can. Okay, coming up on our descent, looks like there's a little bit of road construction up here too. So be careful. You know you're going to go fast downhill when you see that sign that says trucks use a low gear. You can get up to over 50 miles per hour parts of this descent coming up, which is a lot of fun if you have good bike handling skills. It can be a little bit scary if you don't. Of course, that's something you need to work on if you don't. But here we come up to some construction. Stay near your brakes, please. Stay near your brakes. And this will give you a little bit of a rest too, so you can stop pedaling here for a second, maybe get a drink of water or a sports drink. And here we go. All right, stay with me now. Hop up on those pedals. Stay with me here. We're going to go downhill pretty fast. We're going about 28, 30 miles per hour right now. Your cadence should be up. Small chain ring 15. Bring that cadence up over 100 RPMs. Come on now. Stay with me. Watch out for this construction. Heading downhill is one of my favorite parts here. Over to the right, you see the lake. Coach Troy cam. We're going fast, about 30 miles per hour right here. This is not the fastest part of this descent, and you do need to work this part of the descent, because even though it's fast, it's not a free fall by any means. So right now you're in your small chain ring 15, cadence up over 100 RPMs. Effort should be 75 to 80%. Come on now, let's go. Stay on my wheel. Looking good, looking good. Good job. Keep it steady. Keep it steady. Heading down this hill. We have a roughly 5 to 6 miles downhill work ahead of us before we get to the small town of Keene. Come on, small chain ring 15. Stay up with me. Stay up with me. We're going downhill. Cadence over 100. Come on, bring it up, bring it up. If you're doing the iron distance race, you'll find this section can be a little bit cold in the morning of the race day, especially if it's a chilly day or raining out. But you just need to be prepared. Maybe bring some arm warmers or a light vest just for this section. All right, here we go. Big chain ring 15, bring it up. We're just cresting this little riser here, and we're coming down the other side. Take it back down to your small ring 15. Good stuff. Bring that cadence back up. Come on now. Bring that cadence up. Stay on my wheel. Here's Coach Troy Cam. Going around 30 miles per hour down this hill. You want a real challenge, go up the opposite direction. Go up the hill. It's brutal. Brutal. Nice and steady. Stay on my wheel. Always working on that good form. Watching out for potholes. If I see any, I'll point it out to you. Good road bike etiquette. Always point out the bad sections to the people behind you. Cruising downhill. Keep that cadence up. Small chain ring 15. Your effort should be 75 to 80%. Come on, keep that cadence up. Keep that cadence up. Stay with me. It's a good area to practice getting down your aerodynamic tuck. Stay down on your aero bars if you're riding a tri-bike on the trainer. Stay down on the aero bars. Get aero. Get used to being in that position. The more you can stay in that position, the better. The more you have to move out of that aerodynamic tuck, the more resistance you create. Try to stay aero. Train yourself to stay aero. Increase your flexibility. Improve your lower back strength and your neck strength. Try to stay aero. All right, small chain ring 15. Keep that cadence up for me. Come on, come on. Coming up to the steeper section here soon. Maintain your focus. You always have to be very aware on these fast downhills. These fast descents. Watch out for traffic. Watch out for other riders. See, these cars are giving us plenty of space. They're over by the yellow line. It's very nice. And when we have the shoulder, we might as well take advantage of it. Of course, you have to be careful because sometimes the shoulder is pretty bad with debris, potholes, or whatever. So you always need to be ready to jump over on the other side of the white line. Stay on my wheel though. Small chain ring, still 15 on the back. Keep that cadence up. Cadence up, cadence up, cadence up. Come on. Okay, we're going faster now, so bring that cadence up. Give me a cadence over 110. Bring it up over 110 because we're cruising. As you can see, we're getting into a steeper section of this descent. This is where we can start reaching speeds over 50 miles per hour. So I hope you made sure your wheels were on tight. Hang on, here we go. Okay, we're going to take it up to your 18 on the back. Small chain ring 18. Let's get that cadence up over 120. Come on, keep it up. High cadence, high cadence. We're dropping off the edge of the cliff here. We're up around 50 miles per hour at this point. Come on, let's go. High cadence, high cadence. Bring it up, bring it up, bring it up, bring it up. Stay on my wheel, stay on my wheel. We're going pretty fast right now. Hang on tight. Okay, here we go. Come on, keep that cadence up. Stay with me here. Stay with me. Small chain ring 18. Cruising down this hill. Nice job, nice job. Keep that cadence up. 110 or better. Try to get up over 110. Looking back there to see where you are. Stay on my wheel if you can. You'll go faster if you can stay in my draft. Of course, that's not legal on race day if you're doing the iron distance race. You can't draft. But we're out on a training ride, so take advantage of it a little bit. Checking out and see where you are. You gotta stay low and arrow. Okay, we're going fast down this hill. Keep your cadence up. Try to keep it up over 100 RPMs. Your effort should be up around 75 to 80%. Small chain ring on the front, 15 on the back. Put that stationary bike trainer on about a 2. Watch out for that truck. Try to stay down in a nice aerodynamic tuck. Whether you're on your drops or on your aero bars. Can be a little bit sketchy going downhill this fast on the aero bars, but if you have the bike handling skill and the confidence, you should do it because you can make up a lot of time. Looking back, checking to see where you are. Try to stay on my wheel. You're gonna get tired of watching my butt all day long here. Good form. Keep your knees in your top tube, nice fluid pedal stroke action. Nice and fluid. Keep that cadence up, cadence up. We're going well over 35 miles per hour right now. Try to stay low, stay aero. Keep pedaling. Keep pedaling. I'm coasting right here because I'd overspin. But you keep pedaling, keep that cadence up over 100. Come on. There's that sign again. Next 1 mile, truckers use low gear. It means we're going fast. Stay on my wheel, stay on my wheel. Keep that cadence up. Keep that cadence up over 100 RPMs. Come on now. going downhill fast, over 40 miles per hour. Try to keep your eyes up on the road, eyes up ahead of you, just in case you need to brake. And of course, when you're going downhill this fast, you always brake with the rear brake first. You don't want to go flipping over your handlebars by applying that front brake too fast. So you gently apply that rear brake if you have to slow down, but hey, we don't want you slowing down on a downhill like this. Starting to flatten out a little bit. Keep that cadence up though, around 100 RPMs. Come on, keep it going, keep it going. There's a sign for Keene. We're almost there. You get a little break coming up as we get finished with the first segment of this ride. Here we come into town at around 26 miles per hour. Don't want to break any speed limits. Get a ticket. And that does happen every once in a while, believe it or not. Cyclists getting cited for speeding. Nice smooth cadence. Still small chainring 15 heading into town. Keep it steady. Stay on my wheel. We're going to be making a left turn up here soon. Here we come into town. All right, nice job. Boy, that's a fast descent. So we just finished the part of the ride from Lake Placid into Keene. Now we're going to go from Keene over to Jay. So maybe you want to fill up your water bottles, get some more calories, whatever it is, take a little rest, but get ready to ride the next section. Let's go. Clear right, clear left. All right, here we go. Going from Keene to Jay, nice and steady. This is a nice section of road, nicely paved, smooth road. And compared to other parts of the course, fairly easy. Somewhat rolling, but pretty flat. Definitely an area where you can get down in your aero bars and really get into a good rhythm. Now you need to be careful in this section too, because the tendency is to really hammer. You can go pretty fast. In fact, a lot of people will average around 25 miles per hour on this roughly 10-mile section of road on race day, which can be a big mistake later on in the race. So you've got to be careful, keep yourself under control. Nice and steady here. You're in your small chain ring, 15 on the back, small chain ring on the front, 15 on the back, cruising along, cadence around 90 to 100 RPMs. Stay on my wheel. Not going to break any speed limits here. Really a nice section of road. Nice shoulder here, it's safe to ride. Motorists give you a lot of space here, it's really nice. But remember, you don't want to hammer this section. You've got to be conservative in your approach if you're doing this race. You can work hard, you can get your speed up, you just can't hammer it, because the section after this, from Jay to Wilmington, is really difficult. It's all about energy management on race day at the iron distance. Just cruising along here, small chain ring 15, cadence up around 90 to 100 RPMs. You're at around 75% right now on that perceived effort scale. Nice and steady, good form, knees in your top tube, upper body's nice and relaxed. I'm on a road bike here without aero bars, but if you're using aero bars on your race bike,
your tri bike, this is a good time to get down in that aero position and get used to it. Coach Troy Cam right here, seeing the road from my perspective. Watch out for that car there. Nice and steady. Just come back up to my wheel. Stay on my wheel.
Nice steady rolling area here. Get into a rhythm. Try to keep your cadence up. Probably around 85 RPMs. Nice and smooth, nice and steady. No hills for a while here, just little rollers. All right, we'll see ya. Ride strong.
All right, doing a good job. Keep that cadence in that 85 to 100 RPM range. Try to bring it up a little bit right now, 90 to 100 RPMs, as we're going downhill a little bit. We're going around 22, 23 miles per hour on this slight downhill section. Keep the cadence up. Still small chain ring on the front, 15 on the back. Stay on my wheel. Stay close to my wheel. Again, always thinking of good form. Car up. Perfect day for training. Temperatures are perfect. Slightly overcast, which is nice. No rain, which is even better. Really nice stretch of road here. Still in that same gearing. Small chain ring 15. Looks like we have some cyclists up ahead. Probably some other athletes out here training in preparation for the race. See lots of groups out here the month or two leading up to the Iron Distance race in late July. Move over a little bit. Hey guys. Alright, still in your small chain ring 15, keeping it steady, cadence around 90 to 100 RPMs. Keep it steady, stay on my wheel. Climbing a little bit of a section here, so I want you to pop it up to your big chain ring on the front, big chain ring on the front, 15 on the back, big ring 15, cadence drops, 80 to 90 RPMs. Just a little bit of a grade here, so you have a little bit more tension on the pedals. Keep it steady. Going up this little bit of a grade. Power output goes up a bit. Heart rate will probably climb a little bit as you climb this section. You're probably around 80% right now, but we're almost to the top. Knees in your top tube, upper body's nice and still. Looking good. Coach Troy Cam. Seeing the road through my eyes. Still big chain ring 15. All right, starting to level out here. Small chain ring, 15 on the back. Let's bring that cadence back up to between 90 and 100 RPMs. Bring that cadence back up. Now when you're riding on someone's wheel, you can always look at their gearing and try to match their gearing ratio. And now we're going to go downhill a little bit. So I want you to keep it in the same gearing, but let's bring your cadence up a little bit more. Let's go for 100 to 110 RPMs as we go down this hill, gaining speed. We're going around 25 miles per hour now. Let's get that cadence up. Come on, get that cadence up. Bring it up, bring it up, bring it up. Over 100, over 100. That's it. Small chain ring 15. Your effort's around 75 to 80%. Again, this is an aerobic ride for the most part. At times high aerobic. At times we'll go a little bit anaerobic. But for the most part, the effort here is aerobic because this is an endurance building ride. Very important that you do that. Keep that cadence up. We're over 100 RPMs. Nice and steady, nice and fluid motion.
Nice and steady, keep your cadence up. Now, if you race this race, you have to remember, you don't want to push it too hard on this section because you'll blow yourself up before you get to the hills, okay? So you got to keep yourself under control, disciplined, keep your intensity in check. Right now, we're just maintaining a nice aerobic heart rate. Come on, stay on my wheel. Here we go.
All right, your cadence is still up around 100 RPM, still in that small chain ring on the front and 15 on the back. Maintain that nice rhythm. Stay up on my wheel. Always thinking of good form. Okay, we're going up a little bit of a grade. Still in the same gearing, but your cadence can drop a little bit. And now since we're climbing, we're going to go to your big chain ring on the front. Big chain ring on the front, 15 on the back. Producing a little bit more power. Heart rate starts to drift up. Cadence is around 80 to 90 RPM, somewhere in that range. Going around 75 to 80%. Just a little roller here. That's this section of road, this stretch of road. You have a bunch of little rollers that you can really get into a groove, get into a good rhythm. Down on the aero bars. Dial in your cadence and get some good speed. And we're taking it back down, so go back down to your small front chain ring on the front, 15 on the back. Bring that cadence back up a little bit, 90 to 100 RPMs. We're keeping the gear selection for this workout fairly simple. Of course, on the actual course, you'll be shifting a lot. So make sure that you work on your shifting technique and your gear selection strategy. Very important for any successful cyclist. You have to dial in your cadence, dial in your comfort zone. Small chain ring 15, cadence up above 90 RPMs. We're going downhill. So let's take it up to your 21 on the back. Small chain ring 21 and get that cadence up. See how we're going downhill. Bring that cadence up over 100 RPMs. Come on now. Bring it up, bring it up. Going downhill pretty fast, going over 25 miles per hour here. Stay up on my wheel. Bring it back up to me. Good stuff, good stuff. Come on. Good section here. Be down on your aero bars, down on your drops. Small chain ring, 21 on the back. High cadence over 100 RPMs, maybe over 110 if you can push it. We've got to work on that cadence. It's a skill set you need to develop if you want to be a strong cyclist. That's why we emphasize high cadence a lot. Now, of course, the high cadence with the easier gears translates to riding faster in the bigger gears. All right, just took a drink of water there. Make sure you're taking in some fluids as well. Let's take it up to your 15 on the back, small chainring 15. Cadence drops to 90 to 100 RPMs. Keep it nice and steady. Stay on my wheel. No real significant grades in this section of the course. Heading north on Route 9N. Small chainring 15, cadence still up between 90 and 100 RPMs. Staying right up on my wheel. Now don't get bored in this section. Let's keep your intensity up, maintain good focus, always thinking about good form. Taking some fluids, taking some calories. Let's stand up a little bit here, stretch the legs out, stand up, stand up. Good, and have a seat. It's important to stand up every once in a while to stretch out the hamstrings, the lower back, especially if you're doing the iron distance race. Very important. Looking back there to check out, see where you are. Stay up on my wheel. Keep that cadence up. Doing a great job with this workout. Maintain that good form. Keep that cadence up. Come on, 90 to 100 RPMs. Same gearing, small chainring 15. Nice steady state rhythm. Your heart rate should be really steady about now. Should be on this whole section actually. Whatever your aerobic heart rate is, I'm not sure what that is for you. It should be nice and steady, probably staying within about a 5 to 10 beat range. Not a whole lot of variation on this section of the course. Keep that cadence up, 90 to 100 RPM, small chain ring 15 on the back, and you're staying steady right on my wheel. Right on my wheel, come on. Coach Troy Cam, seeing the road from my eyes. Looks like we have some construction coming up here soon, so be ready to slow down. Beautiful countryside here. Beautiful countryside up in the Adirondack region, upstate New York. Upper J. Here we come into Upper J. One lane bridge ahead. Get ready to stop. Still keeping that cadence up. Small chain ring 15, cadence up 90 to 100 RPMs. Share the road with the cyclists there. It's nice to see those signs when you're out riding a lot. You know the community supports you as a cyclist. Okay, we're to stop here. Green light. Right over the bridge. Small chain ring 15. Let's get that cadence up right away if we can. See the sign there, Whiteface Mountain, 6 miles. We're headed to J right now. We're going through Upper J, the small town of Upper J. Nice small town. And let's keep the cadence up. Keep that cadence up between 90 and 100 RPMs. See the river to your right here. Sun's starting to come out. Beautiful day. Great day for a nice long ride. There's no better way to see an area than by bike. Great way to enjoy the outdoors. All right, nice and steady effort, 90 to 100 RPMs. Nice and steady, small chain ring 15, effort's around 75%. And we're just cruising along. This is again an aerobic workout, an endurance building workout. Giving you a preview of the iron distance course in Lake Placid. One loop of it, roughly 56 miles. And we're going up a little grade here, so let's take it to your big chain ring on the front, 15 on the back, just for a little bit. Big chain ring 15, a little bit of variation. Your cadence will drop about 10 RPMs. Big chain ring 15, that's it, that's it. And as it levels out, we'll take it back to the small chain ring 15 and bring the cadence back up to 90 to 100 RPMs, nice and steady. Effort still around 75%, and we're feeling good. Nice form. You can see my cadence stays pretty steady throughout. My sweet spot's usually around 85 RPMs. It's kind of where I like to ride, around 85 RPMs. And on race day, shorter races, I tend to push a slightly bigger gear and maybe around 80 RPMs. For the iron distance, I tend to be a little bit higher, 85 to 90 RPMs. But everyone's different. Everyone has their individual preference as far as cadence goes and where they're most efficient in terms of power output and heart rate and energy expenditure. So that's something you have to figure out on your own. But typically people are most comfortable in the mid-80s. Let's keep that cadence up. We're going to keep you up around 90 to 100 RPMs because this is a training effort. And we want to work on technique. We want to work on cadence. We want to work on being nice and smooth, being nice and steady. Knees in your top tube, upper body's nice and still and nice and relaxed. Small chain ring 15, 90 to 100 RPMs. Nice wide shoulder here. River over to our right. Make sure you drink. Make sure you take in some calories. Checking back, seeing where you are. Thought I lost you there for a second. Stay with me.
All right, we're almost to J. Again, we're still riding nice steady cadence, around 85 RPMs, keeping it steady. We have a lot of climbing coming up, so you've got to conserve your energy on this section. That's why you need to keep your cadence nice and high. All right, hop back on my wheel, and let's get to Jay and start climbing.
Now what I meant about conserving energy is that if you push a big gear and you use a lot of muscle tension to push over the bigger gear at a lower cadence, you waste a lot of energy. And if you're doing this iron distance race, you have to really be conscious of conserving your energy, because let's not forget, the bike is not the only thing you're going to do on race day. You're going to have to hop off and run a pretty challenging marathon. And if you've been mashing this huge gear inch at a cadence around 70, your legs are going to be toast and you're not going to be able to run effectively. So let's keep the cadence up. Still working that small chain ring 15. Keep that cadence up, 90 to 100 RPMs. All right, now this section right here, we're heading up just ever so slightly. So let's take it up to your big chain ring on the front, 15 on the back. Big chain ring 15. Keep it steady. Cadence drops 80 to 90 RPMs. Get to that rhythm. We're going to stay in this gearing for a little while now. Big chain ring, 15 on the back. If you're on a stationary bike, put that tension on about a 3 to 4 on that scale from 1 to 5. When you're in your small chain ring 15, your tension's on about a 1 to 2 on that scale from 1 to 5. 5 being very difficult to turn the pedals. So nice steady rhythm, upper body's nice and still, knees in your top tube, upper body's nice and relaxed. I want to remind you, if you're riding a tri-bike on the trainer right now, get down on those aero bars, get used to being in that position. It's all about the principle of specificity. You've got to be used to training in the position in which you'll race. It's a good time to tweak your position a little bit too. See if you can maybe get a little bit lower, get the aero bars a little bit lower, and see if you can still maintain efficiency and power output. Sometimes when you get too low at the front with the aero bars, you lose the biomechanical efficiency and you don't produce as much power. So you might be a little bit more aero, but what's the cost? That's the kind of thing you have to think about. Keep it nice and steady. Come on now, keep it steady. Big chain ring 15, big chain ring 15. Cadence 80 to 90 RPMs, efforts around 75 to 80%. This isn't an aerobic day, endurance building workout, but you might be at the upper range of your aerobic heart rate zone right now, and that's okay. You have to train the body to get comfortable in this range. Because for a lot of you, this is where you'll be racing, at around this effort, maybe a little bit harder. Of course, if you get too much harder, you'll be up in the anaerobic range, and you can't sustain that for very long. And you'll be toast on the marathon. It's all about energy management. How fast you burn the fuse. Big chain ring 15, upper body nice and still, maintaining good form. Right now, you're just looking at the Coach Troy cam.
Very important that sections like this, where you keep your cadence up, that you eat and you drink. Take advantage of nice rolling sections like this, so you can consume your nutrition and your body will be able to absorb it a lot easier than when your heart rate's super high, as it will be when we get to the hills, okay? Make sure eating and drinking your sports drinks, eating your calories.
Okay, keep it steady here. Still in your big chain ring, 15. Cadence between 80 and 90 RPMs. A little bit of a grade here, kicking up. So let's take it down to your 13 on the back. Big chain ring, 13 on the back. Big chain ring, 13 on the back. Stand up, stretch the legs out. Good climbing form. And we're just getting into the town of J. Pretty soon we're going to be making a left turn, heading towards Wilmington, and the challenging section of the course really starts. Okay, you've seated again, pop it back up to your 15 on the back, big chain ring 15, get back into your rhythm here as we go through town. Now's a good time to maybe take in some fluid before we make that left turn, because as soon as we make that left, we're going to start climbing immediately. So take in some fluid, maybe take a gel or a power bar or something. Whatever your favorite energy bar might be. Take a couple bites. Take some fluid as well. Preferably water. Anytime you take in a calorie, you want to make sure that you have some water along with it. And we're nice and steady. You're going to take it down to your small front chain ring 15, small front chain ring 15 on the back. Good stuff here, good stuff. Bring the cadence up a little bit, 90 to 100 RPMs. There's a sign there. Heading towards Wilmington soon.
Okay, well done. So you made it from that fairly easy section from Keene to Jay, which is roughly 10 miles. Now we're going to head towards Hazleton and Wilmington, which is going to be a challenging section. There's a lot of rolling hills here, and it's not as tough as the back end from Wilmington back into Lake Placid, but it's still tough. It'll still zap your legs, especially if you overexerted yourself on the first two sections we've been through. So hydrate well, take in some calories, and let's go ride.
Okay, here we go up the road here. We're going to make a left turn and we're going to start climbing on our way to Wilmington. No car right, no car left. Left turn, and we're climbing up this hill. Now this is a steep hill, so I want you in your big chain ring on the front and your 13 on the back. This is a tough grade right here. Kind of shocks the legs a little bit after you've been on that rolling section of road. Big chain ring 13, intensity is around 80 to 85% right now as we climb this hill. Nice and steady. We're looking at the helmet cam. You're seeing the road from my eyes right now. Nice steady effort. Let's stay seated here. Let's stay seated. Nice and steady. Again, this is where the course starts getting challenging, or more challenging. So hopefully you've taken care of your nutrition, your hydration in that flatter and rolling section we were just on. Nice and steady, climbing this hill, seated, knees in your top tube, upper body's nice and still. As you climb, good climbing technique. Push down and pull up. Use that hip flexor muscle to pull up a little bit on the pedals. Still working with the helmet cam right now. Alright, right now, like, just stand up, stretch your legs out, rock the bike, good form, still in your big chain ring 13, intensity level around 85%. If you're on that Stationary bike, let's keep that tension on about a 4. On about a 4. Come on, nice and steady, still standing, still standing, still standing, and have a seat. Have a seat, right back in your rhythm. Your cadence right now is probably fairly low in that 70 to 80 RPM range, because again, this is a tough hill. Right now you're in a big gear. Big chain ring 13, tension level on about a 4, roughly 85%. Climbing the hill nice and steady. Heart rate's rising a little bit because you're producing more power climbing this hill. This is where you want to have that good power to weight ratio, and hopefully your weight is at an optimal level for cycling, because gravity is your enemy when you're climbing. All right, nice and steady, nice and steady, nice and steady. Still in your big chain ring 13. Starting to level out a little bit, so take it up to your 15 on the back. You're still seated, big chain ring 15. As it starts to level out and your cadence comes up about 5 to 10 RPMs. Bring it up, easier gear here. Car up. Still using the helmet cam. Seeing the road from my eyes during this tough section. Watch out for that truck. Alright, still nice and steady, climbing. But leveled out a bit. Big chain ring 15. Stationary bike tension on about a 3. On that scale from 1, which is very easy, to 5, which is very hard. Cadence should be up around 80 to 85 RPMs right now. Nice, steady effort. Get into that rhythm and hold it. Get into that rhythm and hold it. Always thinking about your good form. And as we just crested that steeper section, you can take a drink now if you want. Take a drink. Mouthful or two of fluids would do the trick. Still in your big chain ring 15, nice and steady. Cadence around 80 RPMs. Your output, your effort levels around 80% right now. So again, we're working hard, and this is definitely the tougher section of the course. Bus up. Nice and steady. Looks like we have some clouds up in the distance. Hopefully there's no rain up there, but you never know up here in the mountains. Still using the helmet cam. That's what I like to see. Cars pass us, give us a lot of room. That's nice. Still, big chain ring 15, nice and steady. And now I'm going to have you take it down to your small chain ring on the front, 15 on the back. Checking the cockpit there. Small chain ring 15. Let's bring that cadence up a little bit. Let's get it up around 90 RPMs now. 90 RPMs. And your effort levels between 75 and 80%. You're still working because, again, this is a tough section of the course. This is where the real world hits you on race day. You know, if you went too hard on that flatter section, or you went too hard at the beginning, you're really going to have a hard time when it comes to this section of the course. Nice job. Still in your small chain ring 15. Your stationary bike tension's on 1 or 2 about now. And we're still working pretty hard. We just saw some markings on the road there. We're mile 25. Passing through about mile 25. Or if you're on the second loop, that was mile 81. So we've been riding for a while now. Keep that steady cadence around 90 or so RPMs. This is the rolling section. Again, if you work too hard earlier on, you'll really start suffering in this section all the way back into Lake Placid, actually, because it's tough. No individual climb is that brutal. It's just the culmination of all these rollers. It just beats the crap out of you. So you've got to be prepared. Hydration is critical. Calorie intake is critical. And pacing yourself is critical. Energy management. Nice and steady. Small chain ring 15. Good stuff. Okay, we're climbing a little bit of a grade here, so I want you to take it up to your big chain ring 15, big chain ring 15. Keep the cadence nice and steady. It might drop just a little bit, around 80 RPMs to 85 RPMs. We're going to crest this little bit of a grade here. Looks again like we have some bad weather up ahead. Looking good, looking good. All right, we're about ready to head downhill, and we're going to head downhill pretty fast here. So let's take it down your small front chain ring 15. Bring that cadence up over 95 to 100 RPMs. Here we go. We're going pretty fast as well. So let's bring it up well over 100 RPM. Shoot for about 110. Small chain ring 15. Cadence up. Cadence up. Come on, spin it out. Let's go. Route 86 there you saw. Going fast down this hill, around 28, 35 miles per hour, somewhere in that range. Let's get momentum going into the next climb. Get some momentum going. Stay on my wheel. Here comes the helmet cam. The road from my eyes. Nice and steady. Still small chain ring 15. Cadence well up over 100 RPMs. We go around this bend. Here we go. Look up ahead. Look at those mountains. Beautiful, beautiful area. That's probably Whiteface Mountain. Way up ahead. Okay, nice and steady. Small chain ring 15. Get that cadence up as we go around this swooping corner. Going fast. We're going around 35 miles per hour now. Small chain ring 15. Cadence up over 110 RPMs. Your effort is pretty high as well, around 80%. Nice smooth pedaling technique. Get those knees in your top tube. Upper body's nice and still. Get down on your drops. Get down on your aero bars. That's it. Come on, keep it steady. Let's go. Nice job. Nice job. Stay on my wheel. Cadence is still up over 110. Come on. Stay honest with me. Stay honest. Still going downhill here. Let's continue to gain momentum as we go down this hill. You're down on your aero bars. You're down on your drops. Back to the helmet cam here. Still going fast. Well over 30 miles per hour. Looking good. Still in the small chain ring 15. Watch out for that pickup truck. Still going downhill fast. Small chain ring 15. Don't get lazy on me. Here we come up on a little bit of a grade, gain some momentum going into this roller, gain some momentum, keep it going, come on, come on, come on, keep that cadence up, and now we're starting to just go up this hill ever so slightly. So let's go to the big chain ring on the front, 15 on the back, big chain ring 15 as we climb this hill. Here we go. Nice job. Stay near my wheel. Stay near my wheel. Good work. Big chain ring 15, nice and steady. Cadence drops around 80 RPMs. Your intensity level, you should be around 80%. Tough section of the course. You'll see a lot of people on race day starting to fall apart already on this segment. Climbing the hill. Big chain ring 15, nice and steady. Good form here. Knees in your top tube, upper body nice and still. We know we're past the 25-mile mark. If you're on the second loop, you're past the 81-mile mark. Come on, keep it steady. You see a sign up here for Hazleton. We don't want that. We're not making a right there, so don't worry about that, but we will be making a right eventually on the out and back. Big chain ring 15. We're about ready to crest this hill. Watch out for that car. Make sure you see their eyes and they see you. Okay, now we're going downhill. So let's go to small chain ring 15. Small chain ring 15, we're going down this hill. Going down the hill pretty fast. Get the cadence up, get the cadence up. And we're coming into this next little climb here. See it up ahead. The road kicks up a little bit. Small chain ring 15. Nice steady cadence around 90 to 100 RPMs. And here we start climbing ever so slightly. So let's go back up to the big front chain ring. Add a little bit of tension to the pedals. Power goes up a little bit as well. Rolling section here. Rolling section. Come on. Keep it steady. Keep it steady. Keep it steady for me. Stay on my wheel. Get into that nice steady rhythm. Big chain ring 15. Big chain ring 15. If you have to stand up once in a while, please do that. Stretch out the hamstrings, stretch out the glutes, stretch out the lower back. Going downhill a little bit, take it back down to your small front chain ring on the front. Bring that cadence up about 10 to 15 RPMs. Going down this little bit of a hill. But I want your intensity still the same, 75 to 80%. Come on now, keep it going. Let's go. Cadence is up a little bit. Stay with me as I coach you through this workout. Let's go. Climbing a little bit here, so take it back up to the big front chain ring. This is what these rolling hilly courses are all about, is gear selection. Always shifting gears, finding that sweet spot, finding that perfect cadence. Very important. Big chain ring 15. Let's crest this little grade. Looks like we're going to be going downhill again here pretty soon. So get ready for that. Get ready to shift. Of course, I'll be shifting in the exact opposite direction you'll be shifting on the trainer. So you go to your small front chain ring 15, and I'm going to go to the big front chain ring 15, but you're at the small front chain ring. Sorry about that. All right, come on, let's go, let's go. Get that cadence up. Get that cadence up. Around 100 RPMs as we go down this hill. Lots of traffic coming up on the road. Be careful. Let them know you're there, that's for sure. Let them know you're there so they don't take you off the road. Come on back up to my wheel. I know we're going fast. We're going over 30 miles per hour. Entering the town of Wilmington. Small front chain ring, 15 on the back. Get that cadence up. You're starting to work now. You're starting to really feel a little bit of fatigue as we ride into Wilmington. And we're going to be making a right turn coming up here fairly soon. See the mountains looming ahead and those rain clouds up ahead as well. Come on, keep it steady. High cadence, small chain ring 15, cadence up over 100 RPMs. Always working on that good form. On race day, at this point, you'll see some of the pros going about 30 miles per hour, if not faster, down this section of road. Nice and steady, small chain ring 15 still. Look at this view up ahead. Beautiful. Coach Troy Cam. See the road from my eyes. Keep it steady. Keep it steady. Come on now. Let's go. Looks like we're coming into some traffic up ahead, so be careful. Stay near your brakes. Always keep your hand near that rear brake if you have to slow it down. Coming into the town of Wilmington, it looks like there's some construction up ahead. We're still going downhill right here, so you're in your small chain ring 15 on the back. Keep it steady. Come on, we're going pretty fast. We're going over 25 miles per hour in this section. Come on, keep it steady. Here comes the signs. Looks like there's some construction, groove pavement up ahead, so be careful. You gotta be careful. Be careful over this rough road. You're still maintaining that cadence up over 90 to 100 RPM, small chainring 15 on the back. I'm sure when you come up to Lake Placid to do your training, you won't have these bad roads. As all this construction will be done, you'll probably be riding on brand new blacktop. Nice smooth roads. Alright, we're coming up to our right turn onto Hazelton. It's coming up soon. Keep it steady, keep it steady. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Stay with me here. Stay focused. And the right turn's coming up. And on the left over there, you would have seen a gas station. Good place to stop and refuel if you have to.
All right, nice job. That was a tough section. Okay, here we are on Hazelton Road, and on this road we're going to go roughly 7 miles out and back. It's a turnaround for the iron distance course. Now this road's deceptive. It's not easy by any means. It's rolling hills and it's still really going to challenge you. You still need to keep in mind to conserve yourself, however, because the stretch from Wilmington back to Lake Placid is arguably the hardest part of this entire course. All right, nice rolling roads coming up, so make sure that you hydrate well once again, grab some calories, and let's get going.
Small chainring 15. Keep that cadence up between 90 and 100 RPMs. All right, this stretch of road is also challenging. It's going to be very rolling. A couple climbs, gradual climbs, some long sustained climbing. This is a great area on race day because you get to see your competitors. You get to see the other riders coming back the other way or going out. So you get to see where you are in the standings, where you're positioned, which is always nice on race day. Get a little bit of motivation too, seeing the other athletes out there on the course. So this is a good section, rolling, challenging. It's roughly 6 or 7 miles out, 6 or 7 miles back. So be mentally prepared for that. Nice and steady. Small chainring 15 still. Keep that cadence up, 90 to 100 RPMs. Always thinking about your good form. Knees in your top tube, upper body's nice and still. Hopefully you've been taking in your fluids, taking in your calories. How many you take in terms of your calories is going to be dependent on a lot of factors, including your weight, your output in terms of energy, your experience. I usually like to take in around 300 to 400 calories per hour. I tend to stick with more semi-solid foods like gel products and sports drinks than solid food, but once in a while I'll go with some solid food on the bike. It's important that you figure out what works best for you. All right, nice and steady effort. Small chainring 15. Bring it back up to my wheel. Bring it back up to me. Come on, let's go. Bring it back up. That's it. Good. Nice and steady. Come on now. Small chainring 15. Your intensity output should be around 75%. If you're on the stationary bike, let's have that tension on about a 2 on that scale from 1 to 5. Just cruising along here, just cruising along. On race day, you can be going pretty fast about this on this section of course. Be down in your aero bars in a nice rhythm and your big chain ring on the front. But right now, you're in your small chain ring 15, keeping that cadence up, 90 to 100 RPMs at least. If you're an overachiever, take it up over 100 RPMs. That'd be great. Bring it back up to my wheel here. Stay near my wheel. Good stuff. Great day for riding. The rain still hasn't gotten to us, which is nice. Hopefully it holds off for a couple more hours. Come on now, try to bring it back up to my wheel. Bring it up, bring it up. You let me get away. Don't let me get away too long. It's hard to bridge the gap. Try to stay up a little bit closer. Maybe bring your cadence up a little bit so you ride a little bit faster to get to me. We're going faster downhill. Small chain ring 15. Bring that cadence up over 100 RPMs. Here you come. All right, good job. Good job. Finally. We're starting to go downhill more. Bring that cadence up again. Should be well over 100 RPM. Small chain ring 15. Looks like we have a descent coming up. Let me tell you, this descent becomes an uphill climb on the way back. It's fairly challenging. But you'll go fast down this hill, so get ready. And we're going over a bridge after that, so get ready. Here we go. Try to bring it back up to my wheel. Get down on your drops. Get down your aero bars. You can go pretty darn fast down this hill. Take advantage of it. Take advantage of gravity, helping you out. High cadence over 100 RPM. Small chain ring 15. Effort level 75 to 80%. Come on, bring it back up to my wheel. We're going over 35 miles per hour here. Well over 35. We're starting to get around 40 miles per hour. Come on, bring it up to me. Bring it up to me. Cruising down this road. Going over the bridge. Keep that cadence up. Small chain ring. Keep that cadence up. Small chain ring 15. Here we go. Still going downhill. Small chain ring 15. Small chain ring 15. Just keep that cadence up. Come on now. Keep that cadence up on this section. Still fairly flat. You can still get good momentum. Still use the big gears. If you're actually out on the course, you're in your big chain ring right now. Probably in about your 15 or even 13 on the back as you're pushing through this section. But right now on the trainers, you're still small chain ring 15, keeping that cadence up, 90 to 100 RPMs. Keep it going, 90 to 100 RPMs. Always thinking about your good form. Small chain ring 15. Stationary bike tension on about a 2. Hazelton Lumber, left turn. We're not going that way. Don't get lost. Stay on my wheel. I won't let you get lost. And on race day, this course will be so well marked, there's no way you can get lost. Don't worry about that. Keep it steady. Keep it steady. Going through these quiet neighborhoods. Hey, how you doing? Nice people out here. They support the race, that's for sure. Fantastic volunteers for the Iron Distance race. The people in this community really support the multi-sport athletes who come out here to train and race. We appreciate that. So, we're cruising along here. We can see the river to our right. Beautiful scenery. What more can you ask for? It's not raining yet. Nice, cool day. Let's keep that cadence up. Small chain ring 15. Let's not get lazy. Let your minds wander looking at this beautiful scenery. stay focused for the rest of this ride. You can relax when you're done. All right, let's take it up to the big chain ring on the front, big chain ring 15, and the cadence will drop a little bit. So we're going to go around 85, 90 RPMs. But big chain ring 15, we're going to work a little bit because the course is actually leveling out, and then it's going to start kicking back up again. And so I want to get you prepared for that. So let's go big chain ring 15 as we start this section of the course. We still have a ways to go before our turnaround. It's deceptive because you do climb, and it's one of those, not false flats, but you're going uphill, but at a very slight grade, but you're working it. And if you don't know the course, you might not realize how hard you're working because you are going to be climbing. So you're in your big chain ring on the front, 15 on the back, nice steady rhythm. Let's keep that cadence in that 80, 85 RPM range. Look over to the right, you see the river, beautiful scenery. See a lot of fishermen out there. Nice steady rhythm. We're going downhill here. Take it back down to your small front chain ring 15. We're keeping our gear selections pretty simple on the trainer at home. We'll be doing some more gear changing later on, but for now we're keeping it fairly simple. Small chain ring 15. Get that cadence up. 9,500 RPM range. Intensity level 75 to 80%. You know, this is an endurance building ride. So you need that aerobic heart rate for the most part, that aerobic output, so you can sustain it for the duration of this ride, which is probably going to be about 3 hours, give or take. All right, nice and steady. Still in your small chain ring 15. See how I'm in a nice rhythm? So you stay on my wheel and try to mimic my pattern there. Nice rhythmic cadence. My hands are on the hoods there, nice and relaxed. Upper body's nice and still. Knees are to the top tube and just cruising along, enjoying the day. Small chain ring 15 still. Cadence still up around 95, 100 RPMs. Effort level 75 to 80%. Every once in a while, shift around on your saddle, move up, move back, move sideways. You know, change position ever so slightly so you use slightly different muscle groups. That's an important thing when you're on these long rides. And again, every once in a while, stand up, stretch the legs out, stretch out the lower back. All right, here we come up to a little bit of an uphill kick. So let's go to your big chain ring on the front, 15 on the back. Take it to your big chain ring 15, and it's still nice and steady. Still nice and steady effort. Nothing super aggressive. Just keep it steady. Get down in those aero bars, get down in those drops. Come on, nice and steady. Coming around the bend here. Coming up here to the turnaround. Okay, a few rollers right here. You're in a nice steady rhythm, but we're going to start our little climb here soon. See all the evergreens. Stay in your rhythm. Stay in that rhythm. It's all about finding that rhythm and maintaining that nice steady output, power and heart rate. That's the goal in these long distance events. All right, we're going downhill up here, so let's go down your small front chain ring. Bring that cadence up for me. Come on, bring it up, bring it up, bring it up. Stay on my wheel, because I'm going pretty fast right now, around 26, 27 miles per hour. Cruising down over this bridge, small chain ring 15, high cadence over 100 RPMs. Effort level still around 80%. Bring it back up to my wheel. You're doing a nice job as we start to climb a little bit. Big chain ring 15 here, big chain ring 15. Starting this little bit of a climb. Again, it's nothing severe, but it can really zap your legs. You've got to maintain your rhythm. Cadence drops a little bit. Big chain ring 15. Cadence around 80 RPMs. Output level, hopefully still around 80%. Heart rate will rise as you're climbing this little bit of a grade. Your power output increases ever so slightly. This is definitely an area where you'll find yourself dropping some of your competitors, or you might find yourself getting dropped. Depends. Let's stay in your big chain ring 15 as we go over this slightly flatter section. You can relax. Big chain ring 15. Nice and steady, nice and steady. Still climbing this very slight grade. Big chain ring on the front, 15 on the back. Get into that rhythm. Nice and steady rhythm. Always staying relaxed in the upper body, because there's no point in wasting energy by letting your upper body move around a lot, or by having a death grip on those handlebars. You'll see a lot of people on their aero bars climbing this section, because you still can. If you're comfortable down on the aero bars, you might as well do it. Get down the aero bars and climb this section, because again, it's not a steep area, but you are going uphill. Big chain ring 15. Looks like the sunshine is coming out. Looks like we might avoid the rain, which would be nice. Steady effort. Big chain ring 15. Your stationary bike tension is on about a 3 on that scale from 1 to 5. Your output is around
Here's your turnaround. All right, let's go.
Okay, here we go now. We're heading back downhill, and we're going downhill pretty fast. This is a fast section. It's a little bit deceptive because when you're coming up the hill, you're going pretty slow. You don't realize that you're actually going up a fairly steep hill. So we're going downhill now. Small chain ring 15. Let's get that cadence up over 100 RPMs. On that effort scale, you're around 75 to 80% as we head down this hill. And you can really bomb down this hill. You can be at a speed around 30 miles per hour, if not faster than that. And you'll see your competitors coming up on the other side. Of course, they're going a lot slower than you are because they're heading uphill. So you're working hard, high cadence, small chain ring 15. Get that cadence up. Come on, get that cadence up. Here we go. Nice and low, nice and aero. If you have aero bars, get down on those aero bars. You're going fast. 25 to 30 miles per hour down this hill. You're on your trainer, you're in your small chain ring on the front, 15 on the back, and you're flying. Stay up with me now. Stay up with me. Stay on my wheel. Always thinking about good form. If you're on a road bike and you have drops, get down on those drops. Get nice and low, get aero. See, the trees are going by fast because we're motoring. 30 mile per hour speed limit right there. We might be breaking the speed limit a little bit right now. Going fast down this hill. Heading back. Heading back towards Wilmington. Keep that cadence up around 100 RPM. Small chain ring 15. If you're riding a stationary bike, you should be on a tension of about 2 on that scale from 1 to 5. Keep it going. Keep it going. Bring it back up to my wheel. Watch out for that truck. That's it. Bring it back up to me. Keep that cadence high. Keep that cadence high. Stay focused. Get down on those aero bars. Get down on that drop. On those drops. Nice and steady. Staying smooth. Staying steady here. Keep that cadence up. Of course, if you're riding this actual course, you're in your big chain ring right now, and you're probably about on your 13 on the back because you're flying down this hill. But you're on your trainer, so you're in your small chain ring 15 with that cadence up around 100 RPMs and that effort up around 80% right about now because you're working hard down this hill. Take advantage of these downhills. Take advantage of gravity. That's the way I look at it. Some rough road right there. Watch out for that. Going around this bend. Through the woods. See these trees flying by. And of course, on a hot sunny day, if you're out in these woods, you'll get a lot of bugs out here too. That's why you need to maintain a speed over 20 miles per hour so the bugs don't get you. Come on, keep it steady, keep it steady. Stay on my wheel, that's it. Going around this bend. Come back up to me, come back up to me. Come back up to my wheel, that's it. Nice job. Watch out for that gravel there on your right. You don't want to wipe out on the way down this hill. Keep that cadence up. Here we go down a little steep section. Small chain ring 15. Cadence up over 100 RPMs. Keep that effort up too. 75 to 80%. Maybe up around 80% right now because we're flying downhill. Still going around 30 miles per hour. Going around the bend. Don't lose me. Get back up to me. Here we go. Try to stay close to my wheel. Of course, you can't draft on race day. Right now, it might help you out a little bit, so stay close to my wheel. Small chain ring 15, still maintaining that high cadence up around 100 RPMs. Looks like we're starting to climb a little bit, so I want you to go to your big chain ring on the front. Big chain ring 15, big chain ring 15. Stationary bike tension on a 3. And we just went over that little grade, so now you're back to your small chain ring 15. Still going downhill here. Stay down on those aero bars. Stay down on those drops. Got to get used to that position. Even on your trainer, you got to get used to being in that position if you're going to race down on the aero bars or down on the drops. That's why bike fit's so important. You need to be very comfortable on the bike, and you should take the time and go to the expense to make sure you're fit properly. Very important. If you don't, you're not going to produce the right amount of power, and you won't be biomechanically as efficient, nor will you be as aerodynamic as you should be. So, stay low, stay aero, still small chainring 15. Good job. Looking strong, looking strong. See the mountains up ahead? Keep it steady, keep it steady. Come on, come on. Stay up with me. Get back up to my wheel. Bring it back up. Speed limit's gone up to 45 miles per hour, so you can go a little bit faster without being worried about getting a ticket. Now again, if you're riding on the actual road, you're in your big chainring right now, no doubt about it. I don't know where you'd be in the rear sprocket cluster, but I'd assume probably around your 15 or so, and you're going pretty fast. But right now in your trainer, you're still in your small chainring 15, because I want that cadence up over 100 RPMs. You're working it. You're working that cadence. You're working that technique. Still going fast. Probably around 25 to 30 miles per hour. Keep it going. Come on. Keep it smooth. Keep it steady. Looking good. Knees in your top tube. Upper body's nice and relaxed and nice and still. Same gearing still, small chainring 15 on the back. Car up. Stay close to my wheel. Stay up with me now. Stay up with me. You're looking strong, looking strong. Heading back on Hazelton Road. And then we're going to be in the final stretch, heading back to Lake Placid, which is probably the most difficult part of this entire course. So you've got to get yourself both mentally prepared and physically prepared. Right now is the time to be taking in some additional fluid, maybe taking in some additional calories too. Take a gel pack, eat some solid food, whatever you need to sustain your energy level to get to the end of this ride. And of course, if you're a triathlete, to get through the run as well. So, let's keep the cadence up. Still small chainring 15, keep that cadence up. Little riser here, pop it down, pop it up actually to your big chainring on the front. Big chainring on the front, 15 on the back. Coming up nice and close, right on my wheel. Stay on my wheel. That's it, big chainring 15. Nice and steady, nice and steady. Big chainring 15, cadence drops between 80 and 90 RPMs. Nice rhythm, nice smooth rhythm. Come on, stay with me, stay on my wheel. Big chainring 15. We're leveling out a bit here. We're leveling out, but I still want you working pretty hard. So you're still around 75 to 80% of your maximal effort. And I want you in the big chainring 15 on the back, or a tension level that allows for cadence of around 80 to 90 RPMs right now. And that's probably going to be the cadence range in which you race. Most people time trial most effectively at a cadence of around 80 to 85 RPMs. But it's still important, of course, to work on that higher cadence, because that's what develops your nervous system, increases your efficiency. Got to work on that technique. But right now, you're still in your big chain ring on the front. You're in a nice rhythm, 80 to 90 RPMs, and you're keeping it smooth. Nice rhythmic pedaling stroke. See how I'm doing? You're right on my wheel. You're doing a nice job. Knees into your top tube, nice and relaxed in the upper body. If you have aero bars, get down on them. You're down on the drops. That's it. Stay on my wheel. Stay on my wheel. Make sure you drink. Make sure you take in some calories, because the hard section is coming up. We actually have a nice climb coming up here on Hazelton as well. You remember descending that fast descent. Well, you've got to go back up that thing too. And it's going to be a challenge. Nice and steady. Road's a little bit rough right here. Always be careful where you're riding. Always watch out where your where your tires go. Here comes that Hazleton lumber sign. Going around the bend here, still in your big chain ring, 15 on the back. Nice steady effort, 75 to 80%, cadence 80 to 90 RPMs. Stay up with me. You're on a fairly flat section right now. Stay up with me. Come on, get back up to my wheel. Bring it back up to me. Good stuff, good stuff. So far we've avoided the rain, which is nice. That's it. Keep it steady. Keep it steady. Stay on my wheel. Stay focused on that rear brake. When you're riding behind somebody, you want to keep your eyes a little bit forward, a little bit in front of their bike. Look at that rear brake. It's a good spot to focus on. Always looking at the road in front of the cyclist in front of you, and always watching their gearing. Always watching their gearing. Watch what they do. Watch for any potholes in the road up ahead. Watch for their braking too. You always want to see that rear caliper, what's happening with that rear caliper. If they're starting to brake, you have to notice that. So whenever you're riding with another cyclist or with a group, you always need to be alert. Always need to know who's in front and who's behind you. Be careful if you're going to cross wheels that you don't get too close, because you know what? If they come over on you and their rear wheel hits your front wheel, you're the one going down. So you need to watch out. Okay, here we go. We're going downhill now, so take it back down. Your small chain ring on the front. Small chain ring on the front, 15 on the back. Bring that cadence up. 90 to 100 RPMs. Bring it up, bring it up, bring it up. We're going down this section pretty fast, around 26, 27 miles per hour. Down the aero bars, down your drops. Some rough road right there. Watch out for that. Come on, keep it steady. Keep it steady for me. Nice work. Knees in your top tube, upper body's nice and still, and you're staying very aero. You're still aerobic too, but you're working pretty hard here. Small chain ring 15, 90 to 100 RPMs. Come on, let's do it. Let's do it. Still aerobic, although you're working hard, 75 to 80%. Most people are aerobic up to about 85% if they're really fit. Okay, here we come over a bridge, and the road's going to start kicking up here. Get ready. Nice river underneath the bridge. All right, here comes our climb. We came down this hill over 40 miles per hour, and I think we're going to go up this hill a lot slower. So here we go. We're going to start our climb. Keep your rhythm nice and steady. You notice how my pedaling rhythm is pretty much the same. I tend to stay pretty consistent and use my gearing to help me get over the hills, but stay pretty consistent on my pedal cadence regardless of the terrain. So we're climbing right now. I want you in your big chain ring on the front and down in your 13 on the back. Big chain ring 13. High tension on the trainer. Now we're working hard. Cadence 75 to 85 RPMs. Because you're climbing this hill. Knees in your top tube, upper body's nice and relaxed. Come on, you're working it up this hill, and guess what? You're starting to go a little bit anaerobic because now you're working hard. You're at around 85% now going up this hill. That's just the way it is because it's a tough hill to climb. Fatigue's starting to set in too because you've been on the bike now for quite a while. So here we go. We're climbing, we're climbing, we're climbing. Try to stay seated. You're always more efficient if you stay seated. Once in a while you might have to stand up though to stretch it out. Watch out for that truck. Guy came a little bit too close for my comfort. Hopefully we don't see him up at the stop sign up ahead. Alright, here we go. We'll forget about him. Never get aggressive with drivers, that's for sure. Learned my lesson over the years. Big chain ring 13 on the back. Just need to be careful out there on the roads, that's for certain. I once got medevac helicoptered after a bike accident with a motorist one time, so I learned my lesson. I always try to stay as safe as possible out there on the roads. Fortunately, I wasn't hurt that bad, but it could have been a lot worse. All right, here we go. Now we're back on the flats. Big chain ring 15 on the back. Big chain ring 15, your cadence comes up, maybe 5 to 10 RPMs. because we're kind of back on a flatter section right now. But that was a tough climb, let me tell you, that was a tough climb. All right, here we go. Nice and steady rhythm, big chain ring 15, cadence around 85 to 90 RPMs. Stay with me. We're gonna work it pretty hard. Back to the stop sign, come on. Okay, here we go. We're still big chain ring 15 on the back. Keep it steady, keep it steady. Nice pedaling rhythm here. There's the helmet cam. Checking out the road from my eyes. Keeping it nice and steady, big chain ring 15, taking it to the stop sign, at which time we're going to make a right turn, and then a quick left once we go over the bridge. Head back up towards Lake Placid. Keep your rhythm, big chain ring 15 on the back. The road's fairly flat here, but we're still going to work it. We're still working it. Stay in your rhythm. Stay in a nice rhythm. Let's go. Always thinking about your good form, staying as efficient as possible. That's why good cyclists just make it look effortless. Make it look effortless. That's what you want to do. Maintain that nice rhythm. All right, looks like we're cresting a little bit of a hill here. And so let's now take it down to your small chain ring on the front. Small chain ring 15, small chain ring 15. Bring that cadence up, 90 to 100 RPMs. We're coming in the final stretch here towards the stop sign. So let's get that cadence up, 90 to 100 RPMs. If you're on a stationary bike, bring that tension level to about a 2. Stand up if you'd like, stretch your legs out a bit. Always moving around on that saddle. Fore and aft, side to side, so nothing gets too numb, if you know what I mean. You don't want to get numb private parts. That's why you always want to wear good shorts. Make sure you find a saddle that you like. I personally like wearing bibs. Very comfortable. Alright, we're cruising along. Still small chain ring 15, cadence 90 to 100 RPMs. Stay on my wheel. Of course, you can always use some lubricant product like butt butter to help with the chafing. You don't want to chafe. And you got to keep that area nice and clean too. If you know what I mean. And I think you do. Alright, we're coming into the end of the road here. Still small chain ring 15 on the back. Keeping that cadence up 90 to 100 RPMs. Come on now, stay with me. We are not done yet, but we're getting close. Whiteface Mountain's going to be on our right side as we go up the road. Beautiful section of road coming up, my favorite. Although it's one of the more difficult stretches of road you'll ride, especially in the iron distance. Stay with me, small chain ring 15. Stop ahead, get ready to slow it down. You can back it down a little bit, get near your brakes, slow it down a little bit, bring your intensity down 65–70%, and we're making a right turn. Rough road here, still some construction. Some cyclists just went by. Here we go, right turn. Good, good, good. Be careful on this road. They've got it all graded. And I'm sure when you ride this road, if you come up here to Lake Placid, it'll be nice and smooth. Brand new asphalt Coming up to some construction here. Just slow it down and soft pedal. You're in your small chain ring 15 at home, and you're just soft pedaling right now. A little rest, a little break before we make the left and head back to Lake Placid. Make sure you drink something. Make sure you get some calories in you. And we're going over the bridge. Here we go. Still soft pedaling. And we're going to make a left up here soon, so get ready for that. Watch out for the truck here. Hey guys. Yep. What's up? Alrighty. Here we go. A little bit bumpy here. Riding this titanium frame. All that road shock. Doesn't feel that good, but that's alright. Get used to it. Here we go. Small chain ring 15 still. A little bit of a climb here, so we're keeping the same gear, but just so you know, if you ride this course, a little bit of a climb, not a whole lot. Still small chain ring 15 for you at home. If you're on your stationary bike, you're on a tension of about a 2. And we're coming up here to the point where we're going to make that left turn. Head back to Lake Placid. That sign say 86, right? Okay, there's a sign, Lake Placid. Yippee! And of course, on race day, you do this whole loop twice. Man, oh man, it's a tough ride. But I love it. I love it. Okay, here we go. Left turn. No car up, no car back. No car left, no car right. Left turn. And back on some smooth road, finally. Okay, small chain ring 15, and we're cruising along.
All right, so far so good. Now for the hardest part of the entire course, the stretch of road from Wilmington back into Lake Placid. It's all kind of uphill. It's rolling, but it's all uphill. But I got to tell you, it's absolutely beautiful because Whiteface Mountain is right over there. The river's to your right. Absolutely a beautiful stretch of road, but you're going to suffer on it. Just get into a rhythm, high cadence, try to stay seated, stand up every once in a while to stretch out a little bit, and you'll be fine. Last stretch, and then we're done. Let's go do it.
Come on, bring it up for me. The first part of this is fairly fast. We're going to be moving along. Small chain ring 15. Checking my pockets here, making sure my gels are in there. We're cruising along, 90 to 100 RPMs. A&W root beer sign up ahead. Root beer float would be good right about now, don't you think? But we're going to be going downhill pretty fast here, so let's get that cadence up. I want your effort around 75 to 80%. The first part of this stretch back to Lake Placid is fairly easy and downhill, but then things start really kicking up. And it's not that any climb by itself is that difficult, it's just the consistency. And it's relentless. These climbs are just relentless coming back. And typically you'll have a nice headwind heading back as well, which doesn't really help matters. So you'll find you'll be down your air bars a lot, but you'll also be up a lot. So get ready for a pretty challenging part of the course, especially if you're going to do this whole race on the second loop. It really takes a bite out of you. But here we go. Here's the helmet cam. Right back to me. Stay up on my wheel. Here we go, here we go. Past some of the campgrounds here. Nice camping up here in the Adirondack region. Beautiful camping, in fact. A lot of people will camp. Keep that cadence up. Small chain ring 15. Cadence up, cadence up, cadence up. Give me around 100 RPMs if you can. I know you're getting tired, but stay with me here. Let's stay focused over this final stretch, and you will have a great endurance building ride when you're done. Let me tell you, you will get strong. Let me know about it too. Send me an email. Let me know, troy@coachtroy.com. Let me know about how strong you get and how good your results are. Still, small chain ring 15, keep that cadence up. 100 RPMs or better. Going downhill here still. Good work. Knees in your top tube, upper body's nice and still. Same old, same old. Let's keep that technique and very much top of your mind. Always working on the good technique. And we're cruising along pretty fast, probably about 23, 24 miles per hour. And we're feeling good, especially since we know we're getting close to the end of the ride. Of course, you might have a training run scheduled right after the ride, and that's a good idea. After you do this 50-some mile bike effort, hop off the bike and go run for about 30 or 40 minutes to get used to that transition. It's a really effective workout. As you become more advanced, you can increase the duration of your run. But right now, you're still in your small chain ring, 15 on the back, and that cadence is still up around 100 RPMs as we go downhill pretty fast. Come on now, keep it up. You can get down your aero bars too. This is a nice, non-technical section of road, so you can really get down your aero bars and do some flying on this section. So take full advantage of it, especially if you're a heavier rider. You need to take advantage of these more downhill segments. Let gravity work for you and not against you, if you know what I mean. Come on, here we go, here we go. Still going downhill here, small chain ring 15. Bring that cadence up a little bit higher because it looks like we're going downhill more. So let's bring that cadence up over 100 RPMs. Bring it up. Let's go effort, still 75 to 80%. Again, as you can tell, we're working pretty hard. We're not selling out. We're still in that aerobic zone, but we're at the upper end of that aerobic zone for a lot of this endurance building ride. That's what you want to do. You don't want to get in that gray area that much, though. That gray area, you spend too much time training in the gray area, can actually hurt your performance. But for the most part, this is not a threshold type of ride. This is an aerobic endurance building ride. All right, nice and steady. Still small chain ring 15. We're going to start kicking up a little bit here in grade. So let's take it up to your big chain ring on the front, 15 on the back, as we start climbing a little bit. You can see the road starting to climb a little bit as well. There we are. Okay, nice and steady. Stay on my wheel. Cadence is in that nice comfort zone, 80 to 90 RPMs or thereabout, as we climb with slight grade. And this is where things start getting difficult. And if you're riding with other people, you'll see what I mean. If you're out on this road, this stretch of road with other athletes, this is where things really start to separate. And the stronger riders will start riding up ahead. It's a nice steady effort. Big chain ring 15 on the back. If you're on a stationary bike, put that tension on about a 3 to 4 right now, because I want some tension on those pedals. You're working, you're up around 80% now as well, up around 80%. Because again, we're climbing, slight grade. But if you're out here on the course, typically you'll get a stiff headwind coming down the mountain. So you're riding into that extra resistance. But that's all right, it builds character. Doesn't make for fast bike splits, but it builds character. Okay, nice and steady, big chain ring 15 right up this grade. You're doing a very nice job. Stay on my wheel. Coming up over the bridge. If you have a chance one day, we won't do it right now, but you'll need to hop off your bike and look out over this waterfall to the right here. Absolutely beautiful waterfall, as there are all around this area. Some nice hiking trails there too. Beautiful area. Okay, we're working it hard now. Big chain ring 15. We're still working steady, working pretty hard. Cadence 80 to 90 RPMs. Nice big shoulder here, so it's safer. Stay with me here. And on the right side coming up, there's a nice restaurant called the Hungry Trout. Excellent food, nice atmosphere. I recommend it. It's about 12 or so miles from the town of Lake Placid. All right, and here we go still. Big chain ring 15. Your stationary bike tension on about a 3 or 4, and we're still keeping it steady, keeping that rhythm, 80 to 90 RPMs, and keeping that effort around 75 to 80%. More so around 80% right now. Stay focused with me. Stay focused. And of course, if you don't like the music we're playing in the background, you can always turn that track off and play your own music in the background. Play some rockin' music. Some kick butt music. Keep you fired up. Come on, nice and steady. Big chain ring 15. Whatever you do though, just don't wear your iPod while you're riding your bike on the road. Not a really good idea unless you want to get smacked by a car. And if you are going to wear an iPod, you might just want to wear put it in one ear instead of both ears so you can hear what's going on around you. Hear the cars coming up. Always be aware. Be safe out there when you're riding. I'd recommend not wearing an iPod, period. But that's just my preference and my opinion. Okay, keeping it nice and steady. Big chainring 15. Keeping it steady, climbing this hill. But again, you can turn off the music track on this DVD and choose your own music to play in the background while you're listening to my coaching advice. Of course, you might want to just turn off my coaching advice too and just watch the video. All right, there's a sign for cyclists. Gotta like that when the community has signs like that on the road. Be aware of the cyclist. And here I go up the road. Now come on back up to my wheel. You're going to have to sprint to get back up to me. Keep it steady. Big chainring 15. Still 80 to 90 RPM. Somewhere in that comfort range. Steady state effort here. Steady state, high aerobic, endurance building effort. Around 80%. Good job. Came right back up to my wheel. Nice work. Yeah, you had to produce about 700 watts to do it, but you did it. All right, keep it steady. Going past some of the inns and motels on this stretch of road. Nice job. Here's the helmet cam. The Coach Troy cam. See the road from my eyes. Keep it nice and steady. Upper body's nice and relaxed, but you're still working. It's still big chainring 15. Sorry about that. That's just the nature of the course. This part of the course is tough. You're fighting gravity right now. Fighting gravity and fighting some fatigue. Make sure you're taking in some fluids, taking in some calories. As we're only about 10 to 12 miles or so away from the finish of the bike. So keep it steady. And over to our right, there's Whiteface Mountain. Big chainring 15, 80 to 90 RPMs. Come on now, come on, stay with me, stay with me. Keep it smooth and keep it steady. Still working here with the Coach Troy cam. Big chainring 15, 80 to 90 RPMs. You're staying seated, staying in that nice rhythm. When you come out here on this course and ride it with your buddies, again, this is an area where it really separates. Here we go, stand up a little bit, stretch the legs out. Stretch those legs out, that's it. When you stand up, stretch out your hamstrings. Makes a big difference every once in a while to do it. Of course, kicks up a little bit here, a little bit more. Here we go. Let's take it down to your 13 on the back. Shift it down to your 13. Big chain ring 13. Cadence drops 5 to 10 RPMs. You're working a little bit harder. You're up around 80 to 85% right now because we're going up this slightly steeper grade. Come on now, work with me, work with me. Good pedaling technique. Push down, pull up, push down, pull up. Use that entire pedal stroke, all right? Ankle through that pedal stroke. Ankle through that pedal stroke. I don't like to see that toe down pedaling style, especially when you're climbing. You got to ankle. You see how I'm working right now? Pushing down and pulling up. See how I'm ankling? Come on, keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. Stay on my wheel. Looks like we get a little bit of a break coming up. Come on, big chain ring 13. Stay on my wheel, stay on my wheel, stay on my wheel. Nice job. Okay, coming up over the top here. Go to your small chain ring 15. Small chain ring 15. Come Come on, small chain ring 15. Let's go, let's go. Get that cadence up a little bit. 90 to 100 RPMs. Going downhill, 90 to 100. Small chain ring 15. Stationary bike tension. You're down to 2 now. Down to 2. Get that cadence up. Come on. Get that cadence up as we go down this slight hill. A little bit of recovery, but I still want you working it. Again, take advantage of the fact it's downhill and gravity is on your side. Nice job. Nice wide shoulder here. Speed zone ahead. Don't think we'll have to worry about breaking any speed limits on this stretch of road. On a bike at least. Nice and steady, small chain ring 15, and here we go. Back up. So let's take it back to your big chain ring on the front, 15 on the back. Stationary bike tension on about a 3. Let's go, nice and steady. Let's go. Keep it steady, keep it steady, keep it steady. Stay with me here, stay with me. Big chain ring 15. And we're climbing this grade. We're roughly 80 to 90 RPMs. But we're in a nice rhythm. You know, you can be down on your aero bars in this section if you're used to it. You can still have an aerodynamic advantage by being down on your aero bars. Especially if it helps you get into a better rhythm. Some people pedal with more power when they use their aero bars for leverage. Here we go. Come on now, keep it going, keep it going. Okay, big chain ring 15 here, big chain ring 15. Nice and steady, 80 to 90 RPMs. Get down your aero bars, get down on your drops. This is Coach Troy Cam. Nice work, nice work. Going downhill here, so let's go to your small chain ring 15. High Falls Gorge coming up on the right. Beautiful area. Fantastically beautiful falls. You have to check that out. But we're going pretty fast right now. We're upwards of 25 to 30 miles per hour. Let's get that cadence up. Try to get it up around 100 RPM. Small chain ring 15. Right past the Winnebago here. And we're going pretty fast down this little stretch. Keep it steady. Keep it steady. Keep that cadence up. Come on, come on. Stand up. Stretch the legs out a little bit. Good. Good job. There's another sign. Share the road with the bicyclist. You have to be careful in this stretch of road. There's not as much shoulder, so you do need to be careful. And if you're riding with a group, don't ride two abreast. Make sure you're riding single file on this stretch. Beautiful stretch of road with the river on the right. Come on, stay up with me, stay up with me. Still small chain ring 15. Come on, come on, come on. Coach Troy can. Staying nice and relaxed. Small chain ring 15, 90 to 100 RPMs. Keep it steady, keep it steady. Take in your fluids, take in some calories. Nice job. Okay, road's starting to kick up. Big chain ring 15 on the back, big chain ring 15. Increase that stationary bike tension to about a 3 or 4 on that scale from 1 to 5. Come on now, working a little bit harder. Your effort is upwards of 80% because you're working harder now. Cadence, 80 to 90 RPMs. Dial it in. Dial it in. This is probably around your race pace cadence right now. Getting that rhythm. Going uphill here. Going uphill. Come on, keep it steady. Keep it steady. Going downhill. Small chain ring 15. Small chain ring 15. As we head down the hill, a little bit of a roller here. We'll be heading back up here shortly, so get ready. Come on, keep it steady. Stay on my wheel. Small chain ring 15. still as we go over this little rolling section. Get that cadence up around 100 RPMs. Nice job, nice job. Small chain ring 15, nice and steady. Nicely paved road here, very smooth, very enjoyable to ride. Coach Troy can. Okay, we're going to get back into a nice rhythm with a bigger gear. So let's take it to a big chain ring on the front, big chain ring on the front, 15 on the back. Looking over at the river on the right. Big chain ring 15. Cadence 80 to 90 RPMs. Or whatever gearing you can handle and to get that cadence comfortably in that 80 to 90 RPM range. Stay close to that guardrail. This is where it gets a little bit narrow, a little bit sketchy with all the cars. Gotta be careful. But you're right next to the wall here. Big chain ring 15. Now I want you to take it down to your 13 on the back. Big chain ring 13 because this is a challenging section. Big chain ring 13 on the back. Come on, stay with me, stay with me. Big chain ring 13. Let's go, let's go. Stay in that rhythm. Again, this is a challenging section. Big chain ring 13, cadence 75 to 80 RPM, 75 to 80 or somewhere in that range. That's it. Nice job. Come on, stay on my wheel. Stay on my wheel. Let's get through this tough section. Good. Push it over this hill. Come on. Come on. Stay with me. Good job. Good job. Stay focused. Good pedaling form. Push down and pull up. Use that entire pedal stroke. Nice and steady. Nice and steady. Okay, big chain ring 15. Take it to your 15 on the back. Still maintaining a nice steady rhythm. Big chain ring 15. Cadence up around 80 to 90 RPMs. Let's go. Hold it steady for me. Hold it steady. River to your right over here. Beautiful area. Riding with the Coach Troy cam. See some fly fishermen on the right. Your effort right now, 75 to 80%. Big chain ring 15 on the back. Good work. Keep it steady. Keep it steady. Come on. Big ring 15, big ring 15. Cadence in that 80 to 90 RPM range. And looks like up ahead we're going to start climbing just a little bit more. So take it down to your 13 on the back. Down to your 13, big chain ring 13. Cadence around 75 RPMs. Pushing that bigger gear. Pushing that bigger gear. You have to get used to that. Develop yourself overall as a cyclist. Not only can you work the high cadence, you can work the lower cadence too. Push over the top here, big chain ring 13, and it starts leveling out again. So, big chain ring 15, take it back up to your 15 on the back. Stay with me, keep it steady. Come on now, keep it nice and steady. Come on back up to my wheel, bring it back up. Big chainring 15, 80 to 90 RPMs, effort to around 80%. We're still going uphill a little bit. It's a small grade, but we're still climbing. Gravity is still working against us on this stretch of road. Not an easy stretch of road by any means. You have to continually work it. Big chainring 15, 80 to 90 RPMs, or use whatever gearing at home that enables you to keep that cadence up in that 80 to 90 RPM range, but you know you're working it because you want that effort up around 80%, maybe even a little bit higher right now as we start getting to the final stages of this ride, because you're building that aerobic endurance, and you're doing a good job of that today, that's for sure. Burning a lot of calories today too. Wouldn't be surprised if some people who are a little bit heavier might burn around 3,000 calories during this ride. So it's good on several levels. Treat yourself to a nice pint of Ben & Jerry's ice cream after the ride. New York Super Fudge Chunk is my favorite. Come on, keep it steady. Big chainring 15. We're going pretty fast right now. Going pretty fast. Good job. Stay right on my wheel. Nice work. Watch out for this bad road right here. Good. Good stuff. Watch out for this parked truck right here. Okay, here we go. Nice and steady. Keep it going. River over to your right. Coach Troy cam. Come on, keep that cadence up. Let's keep it up. I want you in your big chain ring, 15 on the back, cadence, 80 to 90 RPM. So you can choose whatever gearing gives you that kind of cadence, enables you to ride at that kind of cadence. I want you working though. All right, it's got to be enough tension on the pedals that you're working it in that upper aerobic range in this endurance building workout as we climb up this slight grade. And we're in the final stages of the ride. So even though you might be getting tired, your energy level might be waning a bit, you want to hold it together. Stay focused and hold it together for me. Stay on my wheel. Just stay on my wheel. Stay in a rhythm. Come on now. Keep it steady. Come on. Keep it steady. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. That's it. Big chain ring 15. Come on. Stay right on my wheel. You're still working hard. You might still be down on your aero bars. Down on the aero bars or down in the drops. But stay on my wheel. Don't let me go. Like there's an elastic cord holding us together. It might stretch, but don't let it break. Stay on my wheel. Always thinking about your good form, knees in your top tube, upper body's nice and relaxed. Here's Coach Troy Cam, checking out the course from my point of view. I'm working hard right now myself, starting to suffer a little bit because we're getting towards the end of this course, the end of the ride. If you're doing this one time, you will have gone through roughly 56 miles. If you go through this whole thing twice, you're looking at about 112 miles. That is no joking around. That's a long ride, any way you put it. So keep it steady. Come on now, keep it going, keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. Nice rhythm, nice rhythm. Push yourself along. And if you don't like the music we're playing in the background, turn that music track off and crank up some serious tunes, whatever it might be. Maybe it's Metallica. I don't know. Whatever gets you going, crank it up, because we're almost finished this ride. Still have a little ways to go though. So maintain your focus. Make sure you're drinking your fluids. Make sure you're taking in your calories. Good. Stay right on the shoulder here. The Coach Troy Cam showing you the road. One day if you get a chance, you have to come to one of our camps so we can go out and ride together in real life. We hold a camp up here in Lake Placid every June, and one of our best camps is the one we hold in Tucson, Arizona in March. So if you're from the east or from the Midwest and you want to escape the harsh winter, get out on the roads, think about that camp in Arizona in March. And you can find out more about our camps by visiting my website at coachtroy.com. All right, nice and steady here. Stay on my wheel. See, I'm moving along pretty quickly. We're going along here at around 22, 23 miles per hour. I still want you in the big chain ring on the front and 15 on the back. All right, so again, we're working hard. We're not going all out. We're not flat out, but we're working hard. And of course, you know, I'm doing the work here because you're on my wheel, so you're saving about 20% of your energy. So try to stay on the wheel as best you can. I'd let you take a pull once in a while. I'll let you take a pull once in a while. But come on, keep it steady. Keep it steady. Nice job. You're looking strong. Coming up here on the left, that turn, if you made a left turn there, that would actually take you out onto the run out and back for the iron distance race. But we're not going that way. We're going straight towards Lake Placid. And as you can see, we're still heading up. Now, there's a little faster section here. Bring that cadence up maybe above 90 RPMs. Get back into your rhythm. Good form as always. Upper bodies are still nice and relaxed. Come on, keep it steady. Keep it steady. Looks like it might be raining up there in Lake Placid. It's hard to say. There's a lot of clouds up there ahead. Big chain ring 15. 80 to 90 RPMs now. Back into your rhythm. Push yourself along here. Push yourself. Always challenging yourself. Grab a drink. I'm grabbing a drink right now. Please do the same. Make sure you're hydrated. If you're on your trainer at home, you're probably making some pretty big puddles underneath. If you're riding with some other people, hey, who's got the biggest puddle? That's the question right now. Who's winning the puddle contest? Whoever it is, everybody else should give them 10 bucks. Come on, keep it steady. Keep it steady. Who's got the puddle contest one right now? All right, still cruising along here. Nice steady effort. Beautiful road here. You can really get into a rhythm, although it is uphill. Again, you're fighting against gravity in this last stretch of road before you get into town. And there's a couple hills, couple rollers coming up. They call Baby Bear, Mama Bear, and Papa Bear. You'll see that written on the road when you're out here riding on this course. And Papa Bear is that last climb before you start heading back into town. All right, keep it steady. Big chain ring 15. I know we're using that gear a lot, but that's a good gear. I want you in that 80 to 90 RPM range. That's the whole idea. All right, that means you're in a nice steady output, nice steady state effort in that upper end of your aerobic zone for this endurance building workout. Once in a while we get you up there in the real high cadences, and once in a while we get you in some lower cadence work. All right, now we're heading downhill. So small chain ring 15, small chain ring 15, bring that cadence up, because we're going downhill here. Bring it up over 100 RPMs. That's it, over 100. Come on now, bring it up. Spin those legs out, a little bit of recovery, but guess what? Here we go, back uphill. Take it back down to your big chain ring on the front, rather big up to your big chain ring on the front, again to your 15 on the back. And right now, let's take it down to your 13 on the back, 13 on the back. So we're working a little bit harder, producing a little bit more power as we're trying to simulate climbing this hill on the trainer. So you're putting out a little bit more power here. Let's go. Bring it up, 75 to 85 RPMs, 75 to 85 RPMs. Use a big enough gear inch so that you're working at 75 to 85 RPMs. Nice job, nice job, nice job. Come on, keep it steady. Keep it steady. Big chain ring 13. If you're on a stationary bike, put that tension on about a 4 on that scale from 1 to 5 as you're working hard up this last stretch. Come on now, we're almost there. Let's hold it together. Maintain your focus. Maintain your good form. Maintain your enthusiasm. Don't let your mind wander, because guess what happens when your mind wanders? Your cadence drops. And guess what happens when your cadence drops? You slow down. You slow down. So let's keep that cadence up. Focus is everything. Gotta stay focused. Stay on my wheel. Stay on my wheel. Don't let your mind start wandering. Don't start thinking about what you're having for dinner tonight. Don't start thinking about work that you have to do next week. It's all about the here and now. What do you do in this moment? Well, I'll tell you what you're doing. You're pedaling out of cadence of around 80 RPMs, and you're working pretty hard, and your heart rate is high. Come on now, let's keep that suffer level fairly high, because we're reaching the end of this bike ride. Come on, keep working. I want you in your big chain ring 13, cadence 75 to 85 RPMs, and you're working hard. You are suffering somewhat now. You're suffering. This is where it counts. You want to slow down, but you know you don't have to. Keep those legs moving, because once you start slowing down, once you start slowing that cadence down, you're not going as fast and you're not as efficient. See how the road kicks up ahead. Big chain ring 13. Come on, work with me, work with me. Stay seated, keep the cadence up. Come on, keep the cadence up, keep the cadence up, keep the cadence up, keep the cadence up. Steady effort, come on. Big chain ring 13, stationary bike tension on about a 4. Coming towards the end here. Stay motivated, stay on my wheel. Arguably the hardest part of the course here as we're coming to the final part. Last several miles. Upper body's nice and relaxed as you're doing some climbing here. Big chain ring 13 on the back. Cadence is pretty low and you're working pretty hard as you climb this slight grade. Here we are, here we are. This is what it's all about. This is when you start making your gains. When you're fatigued towards the end of the workout, it's when the body's going to start making the gains. You're going to start pushing it further forward and getting stronger. Come on now, push, push, push. Going over this little grade. All right, good job. Take it up to your 15 on the back. Big chain ring 15. Let's get that cadence up. Easier gear. We're going downhill. A little bit of a roller. Come on, come on. Don't rest. Don't rest. Keep it going. Keep it going. Keep it going. Stay on my wheel now. Stay on my wheel. Take advantage of gravity. Start building some momentum as we start climbing this next section. Build some momentum. Here we go. Big chain ring 13. Your intensity should be around 85% right now. 85%. Because we're working hard and you might need to be near threshold, but we're almost towards the end of the workout, and here it comes. I think that's the Papa Bear coming up ahead. Right now you're in your big chain ring 13. As we start climbing this final climb, your legs will be screaming because you're getting tired, you're getting fatigued after all this riding you've been doing on this challenging course. So here we go. Big chain ring on the front. I want you to take it all the way down to your 12 on the back, all the way down on your 12. Take that stationary bike tension up to 5. Here we go. We're climbing this steady grade. Come on now. Stay with me. Keep your cadence just like mine is. Nice steady rhythm. Bring it up. Bring it up. Bring it up. Bring it up. Come on now. 75. At least 75 RPMs. Come on. Stay seated. Stay seated with me. Climb this hill. Climb this hill. Don't fall apart yet. Maintain your focus. Come on now. We only have about 100 more yards, if even that, till we're at the top. Keep it going. Keep it going. Keep it going. Keep it going. Looks like I'm not working hard, but let me tell you, I am. I'm suffering right now. I want you to be suffering with me. Come on, bring it up. Bring it up with me. Stay on my wheel. Don't let me ride away. Don't let that elastic band snap. Come on, bring it back up to me. That's it. That's it. Stay on my wheel. Stay on my wheel. We're almost to the top. We're almost to the top. Come on, work it. Work it. Push all the way through. Push down and pull up. We're going to make a right turn up here. Come on, make it look effortless. Make it look effortless. That's it. Come on, push it, push it. Big chain ring 12. Come on, we're making a right turn. Here we go, here we go. Making the right turn. Here it comes. Come on, stay with me, stay with me. Don't let me lose you around this corner. Come on, stay up. Bring it back up to me. Bring it back up. Come on, bring it back up to me. Bring it back up to me. One little climb. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Big chain ring 12. We're almost to the top. We're almost to the top, and then you get to rest a little bit. Your reprieve. Come on, let's go, let's go. Nice job. Big chain rings, take it up to your 15 on the back. 15 on the back. All right, and then we're going to start descending a little bit. Let's go to the small chain ring 15. Small chain ring 15. Nice work. Very nice job. That was absolutely the hardest part of this course. And now we're heading in. We're on the home stretch for the most part. Heading back in towards town. We'll be heading towards the lake here soon, which is good news. Start seeing the crowds. If you're doing the iron distance race, you'll see a lot of crowds at the top of that hill cheering you on, watching all the suffering transpire. Everybody likes to watch the suffering. That's why you need to make it look like it doesn't hurt. Make it look like it doesn't hurt. Come on, keep it steady. Small chain ring 15, small chain ring 15. Good work. Stay on my wheel. Coach Troy cam. See the course through my eyes. My legs are tired. I don't know about yours, but mine are tired. And I've only done this loop one time. You might be doing it twice, either in training or on race day. But hey, that's what it's all about. Pushing yourself to your limits, right? All right, here we go. Small chain ring 15. A little bit of a climb here, but we'll just let you cruise over that just so for your awareness. There's a little bit of a climb. Small chain ring 15 still, and we're looking through the Coach Troy cam right now. Keep it steady. Come on, keep it steady. Keep that cadence up, 90 to 100 RPMs. Watch out for that red pickup truck. Coming down the hill, still small chain ring 15, just freewheeling down the hill. You can rest a little bit here. We're going to make a left turn, go around the lake, and we're almost finished, and we're almost back to the oval. Here we go, left turn. We're going to click out, stop, car right, clear. Here we go. And we're going to cruise around the lake a little bit. Beautiful homes here around the lake. People out jogging. Coach Troy cam. What's up? People out walking their dogs. The locals around here are used to seeing cyclists and triathletes coming up to train in the summertime in particular. Very friendly town. Great athletic town. Love it up here. Love it. The kids on their bikes. Future iron distance superstars, I'm sure. Future cyclists. Okay, as we cruise around here, your small chain ring 15, cadence is 80 RPMs. We're cooling down now. You know, we're just cooling down. We've worked hard over the past 50 some miles. Now it's time to celebrate with a victory lap of sorts. Just cruising along. 80 RPMs, your intensity is around 65 to 70 as we cruise around the lake. Stay with me though, be social. Don't let me ride away from you. Stay with me. Coach Troy cam, there's the lake over to the right. And you can see where the race starts actually, the iron distance race starts. Right up by the pier at the beach. 2 1.2 mile loops, probably the fastest iron distance swim you'll ever do in your iron distance career. That water is perfect for swimming. And we're just rolling around, cooling down after a long day in the saddle. And if you do this whole thing twice, well, if this was your first time you're heading back out, you'll have to do it all again. So it's a nice little recovery. But if it's your only time around the loop, this is your cool down. Nice work. Good cool down aids in recovery. You might want to get a little bit of a massage. Make sure you get some carbohydrates in you immediately after this ride, and some fluid too. You need to hydrate. You know, you might want to get in the habit of weighing yourself in the morning before training, and then weighing yourself again in the evening before you go to bed to make sure your weight's pretty similar, meaning that you've hydrated sufficiently, so that you can train hard the next day, because that's what it's all about, recovery and then being consistent with your training. Look out for these cars. You never know when one of these doors are going to open up. Lake Placid Brew Pub is over to your left. Really good pale ale. Hey bud. All right, last stretch. We're coming into town here shortly, and on the right there is where the swim start is. You can't really see it right now, but that's where the swim start is for the iron distance race. As we cruise up to Main Street, it's coming up, we're going to make a left turn. And you need to be careful if you're up here training because it does get busy up here. Lots of traffic, especially in the months of, say, June and July, as more and more people come up to train for the iron distance race or just train for any event because it's such a fantastic town for training. So here we come up to the stop sign, and we're going to make a left turn onto Main Street. Let's be careful here. We're just cruising in, and left turn. Looks like we're good to go. So we're going to just go right ahead, clear right, clear left. And here we go down Main Street. You need to be careful. As we go down Main Street, there's some traffic on the roads. Here's the Olympic Center right there to our right, and the oval is coming up with the high school right up ahead. And we're going to make a right turn coming up past this little shop right here. And we're almost done our ride. Nice job, nice job.
All right, nice job. Awesome ride. I hope you're as tired as I am, because I am beat. I know I'm going to get some good benefits out of that workout. Do this kind of long distance workout in preparation for your next iron distance event or whatever it is that you do, and I know you'll become a stronger and faster cyclist. Also, please consider attending one of our training camps here in Lake Placid, New York that we have every summer. I know you'd really enjoy it. Until we train together next time, train safe and train smart. See you later.
We hope you enjoyed this challenging and scenic ride with Coach Troy. For more information about Coach Troy Jacobson's annual Lake Placid training camp and other coaching-related products and services, please visit CoachTroy.com or call toll-free 1-888-288-0503.